Hello and welcome to Bass Basics lesson number 3. I'm Mannybass. You might remember me from some of my award-winning tutorials such as how to turn on your amp, how to tune the bass, and how to open the case. Enough with the jokes, let's get started. So today we're going to learn about major and minor chords. So what is a chord? A chord is when you play 3 or more notes at the same time. Now, why should we learn how to play chords? Well, chords are a major component of music. And if you want to create bass lines that sound good and make sense, then you need to know the individual notes that make up the chords that the piano or keyboard player or guitar player is playing. So now, how do we create or construct a major chord? Well, a major chord is made up of 3 notes: a root note, a major third, and a perfect fifth. So if I'm using A as my root, for example, I'll have to play the major third from A and then the perfect fifth of A, okay? Now, there's 4 ways I'm going to show you how to play, or 4 different forms to play a major chord. So form number 1, right? It's played this way. So what I'm doing here is I'm pressing the root, the perfect fifth, the root again. Now, this is called an octave because it's double the frequency, but it's the same as the root. So root, perfect fifth, octave, and then major third. So if you want to strum it, even though you shouldn't do that too much as a bass player, but if you wanted to, you will use the index finger, right? And you're going to push down on all 4 strings. Then you're going to use your ring finger for the perfect fifth. You're going to use your pinky for the octave. And then you're going to use your middle finger for the major third. Okay? Now, the great thing about this form is that it doesn't matter where you land. If you keep the same form, you are playing a major chord. So if you land here, this happens to be B, well, then this is a B major. I'm sorry. If you land down here and you keep the same form, you're playing an E major, okay? Now, the second way of playing a major chord is similar to the first way, except that you don't play the first note, okay? So it's just fifth, octave, major third, fifth, octave, major third. If you want to strum it, you will use your middle finger for the fifth, your ring finger for the octave or root, and then the index finger for the major third. Okay, now, third way of playing it, which I don't normally use much, but still, will be this way. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm playing, this is my root, my perfect fifth, and my major third. So if you want to strum it, I use one finger to play the root and the perfect fifth, and then I use my index or pinky to play the major third. Okay, and then finally, the other way you can play a major chord will be this way. So actually, I can also do it this way. To me, this feels a little more natural because I'm used to it. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing the root, major third, perfect fifth. And the same thing applies to what we said earlier. If you move around, major chord, major. It gets a little harder if you use this. If you use these 3 fingers, it gets harder as you go up, but it's easier down here. You know. If you're gonna go up there, then you should use your pinky, your ring, and your index. Okay, so now let's talk about a minor chord. Well, a minor chord is made up of root, minor third, and a perfect fifth. So let's play, for example, B minor. This will be a B minor. Compared to a B major, B minor sounds sad. So this is B major. Yay, B minor, sad. Okay, so now what am I doing? Almost the same thing as the major form, except that I don't use my middle finger. I don't use my middle finger. So with my with my index, I'm gonna press the root and the minor third. So root, fifth, root, minor third, okay? But I do it this way. So doesn't matter where I land. Minor third, minor chord, minor chord, minor chord, minor chord. Second way of playing a minor chord, same thing we did before. We just don't use, we don't play the first root. So we're gonna do it a little differently. We're gonna do it this way. So what I'm doing is fifth, octave, minor third. To play it, I use my middle finger for the fifth. I use my ring finger for the root, and then I use my index for the minor third. All right. Now the third way of playing a minor chord will be this. So here's what's happening. I got minor third, perfect fifth, and my root note. So how do I play it? Well, I normally do it this way. I have my ring finger on the third degree. I got my index on the perfect fifth, and then I got my middle finger on the root. All right. Now finally, the last way to play a minor chord will be this way. So what I'm doing is root, minor third, perfect fifth, okay? And the way I'm playing it is with my pinky, I'm pressing down the root. With my middle finger, I'm playing the minor third. And with my index, I'm playing the perfect fifth. So let me do it down here. Actually, here. So that's it. You got it. You now know how to construct major and minor chords, which means you are now a much more kick-ass bass player than you were before. So last thing, we need to talk about the symbols that we use to represent the chords. Well, to represent a major chord, we just use capital letters. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you want to represent a minor chord, you use a capital letter with a lowercase m next to it, okay? So please don't forget to subscribe. I'm including the link to download the diagrams, all right? So, actually, not diagram, the books, because I'm going to write a book about this, okay? And it's going to be for free on my website. So thanks again for watching. Mannybass.